So I'm Tina, and I am the oldest of 8 children, born to Francis Young here. My married name is Cronin. I have 5 children. And,
You can say line or whatever when you want to prompt.
Grandmother, too.
Oh yes, I have 2 granddaughters and another one on the way. We're not sure yet what it is, but hopefully more to come. So give me a question, Sean.
All right. Let's see. What's the best advice your mother ever gave you?
Well, I remember when I was away at school and I would call for advice and she would just tell me I needed to figure it out for myself. She didn't give me a lot of advice. Which is probably what I should do better with my own kids. But, I don't know, she kind of helped me learn how to work through things on my own. So.
Okay. What chore did you have as a child?
Probably the one I remember the most was babysitting because I was the oldest. And Mom worked a lot of swing shifts. And so when I'd get home from school, I would just kind of babysit, when she'd go to work. And so whatever goes with that, dishes and, I'm sure I didn't do them all the time, but, I did do them sometimes, I remember doing them. But probably mostly watching the younger kids.
Okay.
So.
Do you have any special memories with your grandparents?
My grandparents. Oh, what I remember about my grandparents, a couple things. My grandpa used to take his teeth out sometimes and run around the hall and scare us when we'd go over there to spend the night. And that was kind of fun. He'd sit in his chair and sometimes he'd fall asleep and we'd play barbershop, your dad. And I would play barbershop with Popsy and we'd comb his hair. And one time we even cut his hair and he wasn't very happy about that. But I understand that he was very strict as a father, but he was very mellow as a grandfather. So it was kind of nice. It was kind of fun. And they would take us whenever we'd go spend the night. They'd take us over and let us go to the grocery store and pick out whatever we wanted for dinner. And I always thought that was cool. And I always picked out lamb chops. And I'm sure they were probably expensive then, like they're expensive now. But they'd always buy lamb chops, and Popsy would take me to the store. So that's what I remember.
What did you do for fun as a child?
What did I do for fun? In high school I did drama and music, things like that. When we were younger, I don't know how fun it was, but I have a lot of memories from picking berries and getting up early and some days having more fun than working. And we'd ride the bus and go pick berries, and then we would come home about 1 o'clock and usually sleep half the day, and I realized that was probably the best way to keep us out of trouble. We were too tired to get into trouble in the summer.
Were they your own berries or did you go to fields?
No, we went to other fields and picked for different farmers in the area. Picked all summer. We picked berries, strawberries, raspberries, blackcaps, and sometimes even beans. So pretty much through the first part of August.
What historical events in your lifetime do you remember, and what were you doing at the time?
Historical events. I remember when Mount St. Helen blew. It was the year Philip was born, and I was at church, and it blew, and there were people. I was walking down the hall to go to primary, and all these men who were probably supposed to be in priesthood meeting, standing on the porch at the church looking, because they could see it from the church, and so we all stopped and watched that for a little while. Historic events. I had a cousin that served in the Vietnam War. Your dad served in the Persian Gulf War. There's been, I'm sure there's big ones I'm missing.
Let's see, JFK?
Yeah, I was in 3rd grade when John F. Kennedy was shot, sitting in class at school when they told us about it. And I remember being, it was probably, I don't know, it's probably the first time somebody that I kind of knew, had died, and it was a pretty violent way to go. It was big news. I remember the Columbus Day storm when I was in 1st grade, and all the trees came down, and Mom wasn't home from work yet, and so we were at the neighbor's house, and it started raining, and it rained so hard we couldn't even see our own house across the street. I mean, it was, so we ran home, and we were really worried until she got home, and I remember being just scared to death, and Rob kept going out and watching the trees, you know. He thought it was great, and I was just scared to death, so yeah, those are, let's see, that's probably what I remember for, I don't know, I've never been real aware, I guess, maybe.
Okay. Let's see. Thinking about how you were raised, have you seen any similar patterns in the way you've raised your children?
I should ask you that one. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of things are the same.
Such as?
I don't know, I have to stop and think. Go to church every Sunday, take them all to church, and I don't know. This is probably, I don't know, good model.
Yeah, you do the Christmas cookies and things at Christmas.
The same kind of things that you did,
Mhm.
yeah, use your recipes
A lot
for
of
those.
same traditions. Easter.
Yeah, we
I
do it.
think maybe Valentine's too.
Yeah, a lot of the holidays are the same. Always have a Valentine box that the kids would put Valentines for everybody in, and they decorate it. And yeah, that's true. So probably the holidays would be, you know, real easy to see. But even just in general parenting, I think probably a lot similarities too.
When Tina went to college, that was really difficult for me because she had done all the family sewing. She was the family seamstress. And that really left a big hole in our house. And she may not realize it, but she really was a very important key person in helping with the babysitting, and also the fact that she did sew, and some of the other household talents she had worked at developing.
There you go.
Do you have a favorite funny story about your mother?
Yeah, my favorite funny story was when Rob and I were younger and she was working and we were eating hot cereal one morning. I hate to maybe tell this one, but we were eating and there were bugs in the oatmeal. And she was on the phone, I'm sure taking care of something that had to be done before she left for work. Mom, there's bugs in the cereal. And she just, I'm sure thought we were just complaining because we didn't want to eat hot cereal. But there really was bugs in the cereal. It's probably something that had been in the back of the cupboard. When she realized, she, you know, because, well, back in those days, the phones have a cord, you know, you can't come over and see. And so she didn't make us eat it once she saw the bugs. But
There were bugs in the
There were
cereal.
bugs, yeah.
Oh dear.
I remembered that really well. So.
Um,
I can tell you a funny story about Rob and Tina. Neighbor girl babysat them, and they had kind of funny impressions about Mormons anyway. But then the story came out that Tina and Rob went down the basement, and on the bottom step, they know this is where we always say prayers. And the babysitter questioned, you know, is that a Mormon tradition? No. They were just pulling your leg. They were little kids. They were rascals.
We should take babysitters in the bathroom to say our prayers too. And we always say them around the toilet, you know. Babysitters didn't come back very often. We didn't have very many that we had for very, you know, for over and over again. So maybe that's why.
do you have any favorite memories of your beach trips?
Beach trips, yeah, we went from the time we were little. That's everywhere. Every summer went for beach trips, and we'd just go. And we had some friends that had a beach house and stay for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. It seems like, and just that was our summer. It was great. Go down to the beach and just have, you know, freedom. It's kind of nice. Go to the fort and go to the Fort Clatsop and the other fort, the Fort Stevens.
Fort Stevens, Fort Clatsop,
A lot of
Battery
those places.
Russell.
Yeah.
Peter Iredale.
some of those places. We'd go every summer. It was fun. Collected shells, came home and sold them to our cousins, and then had to give the money back. Because they got an allowance. So we always would do things to get their money. You know, I mean, services provided, but
Yeah.
we always had to give it back when they found out where we got the money.
Who made you give it back?
My mother. I don't think they even wanted it back. Cindy and John, they didn't care because they had enough, you know, probably more than they could spend, but anyway, so.
Okay. Grandma, do you have a favorite story about Tina?
Well, I'm trying to think. She did a lot of fun things, I think, in drama. And she went to state with her singing. And interesting there, when she went to the district, or multiple district, I guess it was out at Mount Hood Community College, the girl that came in first in her division sang opera. She was very good, and Tina, who had never had any to speak of formal voice lessons, came in second. Well, that girl was the one that got to go to state, but they had an opening in the competition, and so they invited her to be the second position at state as well. And that was really quite an honor.
So I placed third at state, out of the whole state. But yeah, our district was the biggest, and so when there was an extra space, we got to send the second space. Yeah, and Mom played for me, so it was nice. Good experience. That's why I never learned how to play the piano, because I could always depend on Mom to do it for me.
Do you remember what you sang at that competition?
Ah, yeah, it was from the Messiah. Oh, thou that tellest good tidings to Zion. It turned out to be the judge's favorite song. And that's not always a good thing, because
Yeah.
usually there's ways they like it to be done. So she gave me some ideas for the introduction part of it. But she said she really liked the way I did the rest of it, so I got lucky, I guess.
I'm open to suggestions, line of questions.
Well, when she went to college, she picked up a lot of tricks. BYU. And I think she was still going trick-or-treating. Yeah?
Clear through college. At first I went out with kids that were kind of in the neighborhood, and then when I came home and showed my roommates all the stuff I got, because they laughed at me for going, then they got dressed up, and we went back out. But we didn't get as much stuff that time, because we were, you know, they were obviously big kids, and they didn't blend in as well, so, but yeah, trick-or-treating's fun.
Definitely.
Still have costume boxes. Now my costume boxes are at the seminary building, where the kids dress up there and act out and have fun, so.
What would you say from your, let's see, I guess, what from the way your mother raised you would you say has had the biggest impact on who you are now?
And who I am, her testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's had a huge impact on me. It's who I am. It's a way of life for me, and I've always appreciated that, and hope that I can pass the same thing on to my kids.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to share or say to the camera?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. She was the only redhead of my parents' children. And so my dad really favored her because she had red hair, because there were redheads in his family. And so each one is picked out for different reasons, but she and Robbie were really the favorite grandchildren of my parents. That's, I won't be popular for saying that if this gets in the wrong hands, but it's true. It's really true.
The luck of the Irish, huh?
Huh?
The luck of the Irish. I
Right.
guess, yeah.
So, Tina being very, very small, it was hard to get clothing for her. So she learned to sew at a very, very young age, and made most of her clothes, or got clothes and they were hand-me-downs, and then remade them so that they would fit her. And she became very good at it. Very good at it. And I remember one year she made me a coat, and I've kicked myself a million times, but I didn't keep that coat. But it was
Really?
plaid, but it was a princess style. It was a yellow and green and white plaid. But it totally matched all the plaid match. Was perfectly matched. And I should have kept it for that reason alone. But when I got too fat to wear it, then I, put it out. And I've been sorry ever since, because I should have kept it. I just should have kept it. And I can remember her not having money for school clothes that year, and saying, well, what did you do with your money? She'd pick berries and things, and what did you do with your money? And she would never say, and I said, well, if you don't have money, you just, can't
Too
spend
bad.
it. Well, what she'd spent it on was materials for my coat. And I got it for Christmas. I felt so guilty, and I never have forgotten that, and I should have kept that coat.
Well, I'm glad you got rid of it. I
Yeah.
probably look at it and I go, oh.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Oh. I really liked it, and it was so well done. So, there were things like that. What were some of the other things? Oh, guide dog.
Oh yeah, raised a guide dog for the blind. And she almost made it through training and then didn't quite, so we got her back. But that wasn't all bad, because then I got to have her till she was too old to get around anymore. But that was fun.
That was a very good dog. And the reason we got her back is because she was an oversized shepherd, and they had matched her up with a very large man, and the dog never bonded to that man. And it had bonded, and sometimes this would happen with those dogs. They would bond to whoever it was that raised them. They get them at 6 weeks, and they're a little over a year before they go back. And they have to learn basic obedience. And sometimes they don't rebond. And when we went to pick the dog up, we couldn't even recognize him. He hadn't eaten. He was just skin and bones. But he perked right up after he got home, and then Tina had, I don't know how many trophies from taking that dog to dog shows because it was so obedient. It'd just do anything she asked it to.
Good
Yeah.
dog.
That was a good dog. So, name was Blake.
Still in
What
search of
else?
the great dog.
Hmm?
I'm still in search of another good dog. I've had a few.
They, trying to think, Tina never liked dolls. Never liked dolls. She liked stuffed animals. And she volunteered to bring them home for vacation time from school classes. Little pets. And not tell me and keep them in her bedroom.
I even got some to keep one time, gerbils.
Yeah.
My English teacher had gerbils and she was getting rid of them, and I said, well, I'll take some. So I had them in a cardboard box with a kind of a grate thing over the top of it, but they chewed through the bottom of the box one day when I was at school, and we're running around upstairs, and then Mom knew they were there. So then I had to get rid of them, but probably a good thing.
Yeah. When I went upstairs, nearly fainted dead away when I saw one just in the middle of the room looking back at me.
I probably had 3 or 4 of them in the box. Yeah. My teacher was probably thrilled. Oh, good, somebody wants them, She probably should have called home to see if that was okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite funny stories, either about your mother or siblings?
I probably do. I probably missed out on all the big secret things going on because I was older and usually the one in charge, and they were usually the one pulling stuff when I was supposed to be watching them. But I just remember hearing the story. I don't remember when it happened, that we were trying to get something. We were at daycare. We were trying to get something that was out the window, so I was holding on to Rob's ankles and lowering him out the window to to get it, and it was like a second-story window or something. It was not
Yeah.
real smart. And we used to play in my grandma's dryer, take turns getting in and turning it on, and you know. And then found out that that wasn't a good idea either, because you could get electrocuted doing that. So, those are some little things. Trying to teach the kids to say rude things at the dinner table. We always got in trouble for that. So. Just typical kid stuff, I'm sure.
Anything else you want to make sure you get in?
Well, I think I'm good. You're good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
All right.